In the year 1982, a 24 years old young man used to go from shop to shops on his bicycles selling his homemade chips. His bicycle was old and his appearance was very simple, because of which most of shopkeepers wouldn't even look at him and many would refuse to keep his chips in their shops. Back then, no one could have imagined that the one day the same young man would become India's king of peppers, and lakhs of shopkeepers across the country would be eager to sell his products. This is the story of Balaji Peppers. It all began in 1957 from a small village named Dundraji, where Chandubai Virani was born. His village was so underdeveloped that none of the house had electricity and most of the family depended entirely on farming. Life was already tough, and then in 1972 the country faced the worst drought in 17 years. Because of this devastating droughts, millions of farmer families lost their crops, and among them was the family of Chandubai Irani. Their entire livelihood was destroyed, and his father was left with no choice but to sell their ancestral land for just 2000 rupees. He divided the amount equally among his three sons, giving each of them 600 rupees. With that small sum in hand, 17-year-old Chandubai, along with his two brothers, set out for Rajkot, just hoping to build a better future. Their plan was simple: to start a small fertilizer business in the city, but fate had something else in the store. The supplier cheated them, delivering a fake products and low quality fertilizers, and before the business could even begin, it collapsed. All their investment was gone. Chandu was literally left on the streets. But one thing was clear in his mind: no matter what's happened, he wouldn't return to his village with empty hand. He couldn't bear to see it either died or go down in the same. So he started desperately looking for work in Rajkot, and one day he landed up a Stone Cinema, where he got a job in just 19 rupees per month. Chandubai, this was not just about earning, it was about learning. Whatever task he was given, he did it sincerely, putting up movies posters, door cleaning, checking tickets, and repairing tour seats. He did it all without hesitations. Fortunately, his work hard didn't go unnoticed. Impressed by his dedications, the owner of Astron Cinema offered him the canteen contract for just 1000 rupees per month. That means Chandu Bhai had to pay 1000 per month, and in return all the profit from the canteen would be his own. At the canteen, he mainly sold masala sandwich, potato wafers, beverages. With just a few weeks, Chandubai made and realized nearly 80% of the canteen sales were coming from one single item, potato chips. He also noticed that most of the sales happened during the 10 to 15 minutes of the movie intervals, but quite often the chip supplier wouldn't deliver or supply too little, leaving Chandubai with insufficient stock during peak time, and he wouldn't end up facing losses. For almost 6 years, he struggled with his same problems, and then in 1982, he made a life-changing decision. He decided to make his own potato wafers. By producing chips himself, he could control the quantity, quality, and also earn a higher profit margin. Near Astron Cinema, there was a Hanuman temple, and inspired by that, Chandubai named his new ventures Balaji Peppers. To start his business, he invested 10,000 and built a small shed in the compound of his house. He soon realized that industrial potato peeling and cutting machines were extremely expensive. So using his innovation mindset, he decided to build one himself, this older setup, buying separate part for the assembling the machine on his own just 5,000 rupees. The rest of the money was spent on the buying kadais and other essentials equipment. The production process was completely basics, everything from peeling, cutting, fine. During the day, Chandubai managed the cinema canteen, and at night, he would return home and fry the wafers himself. To save on labor cost, the entire family took part in the process. After working the canteen for years, Chandubai had learned one important thing about the customers. The most important factor was value for money. People wanted more chips for less price. So right from the beginning, Chandubai decided to offer 25 to 30% extra chips compared to the other brand. He and his brothers had spent their entire lives in Gujarat, so they knew exactly what flavor customer loved. Initially, Chandubai sold his wafers only at the Strong Cinema canteen, but as the response grew stronger, he decided to expand his reach. The first outside contact he got was from a girls' high school canteen near Astron Cinema. Gradually, he started supplying chips 20 to 25% local shopkeepers in Gujarat. However, there was a big challenge when he went to deliver the chips on his bicycles. So many shopkeepers wouldn't treat him respectfully, almost like a beggar. But instead of feeling discouraged, Chandubai used that disrespect as a fuel. It made him very determined and resilient. Another challenge was quality control. Since most of the production process was still manual, the quantity consistency dropped as the production is increased. Packaging also became a major issue, leading to complaint about that the chips had been stolen by someone. To tackle the quality issues, Chandubai decided to master the art of potato wafers manufacturing himself. Well, he discovered that the average potato contained around 80 to 85% water, and that the higher the dried matter, the better quality of the chips. Ideally, the dry matter should be between 20 to 23%. With an experience, Chandubai reached at the level where he could simply hold a potato in his hand and tell how suitable it was making for wrappers. He learned everything: the ideal thickness of the slices of perfect crispy, the right temperature of the boiling, and the exactly fine time, the washing method, and even the right balance of spices. He became an expert in every single step. But Chandubai also knew that the individual expertise was not enough. He needed a system that could replicate his process at a large scale. So, taking the biggest risk of his life, he took a loan 50 lakhs and set up his first semi-automatic wafer manufacturing plant. The plant covered 1000 square meters and had a daily production capacity of 60 kg of wafers. His goal was clear: to achieve a consistent quality and branding packaging. Everything seems going to perfectly until a major twist changed the story. Usually, such a manufacturing plant are set up by third-party company that handle design, equipment, sourcing, installing, testing, and maintenance according to the client requirement. The client only needed to operate it later. But in Balaji Vapor case, just their plant was being assembled, the company responsible for setting it up suddenly shut down. That means 50 lakhs was already invested and Chandubai was left with half assembled, non-functional plant that was not even customized for his needs. He didn't act like fast and bankrupt was inevitable. So together with his brothers, Chandubai began to dismantle and study each piece of equipment on his own. Through trial and error, they learned how to the machine working and essentially become self-taught engineering. Finally, they managed to fix the entire setup themselves and restart production. Chandubai then automated the same process he had once prepared manually. The impact was immediate. Balaji Wafers started supplying to Rajkot and nearby regions with almost zero issues in packaging and quality. This experience strangely Dandubai believed that investment in machine equipment and technology is the best investment any business can make. So in 1995, he set up another semi-automatic plant, and by 2002, he established a fully automated factory which became India's largest potato chips manufacturing facility at the time by offering better quality, quantity and packaging at affordable prices. Balaji Wafers began to outperform not just unbreaked local chips but even the big branded player in the market. By 2006, Balaji Wafers had captured over 90% of Gujarat snacks market, becoming the number one brand in the state. But Chandubai was not satisfied with just being a regional player. He just wanted to expand Balaji beyond Gujarat to make a national brand. She knew that to achieve this, company would need a revolution in every area like product development, marketing, and human resources. Till now, their hero product had been their masala flavors. For national explanations, Chandubai understood the need of diversify their product range, so he set up R&D lab, a research and development center where their team study Indian food habit and identify popular snacks loved by Indian customers. For example, they launched chaat chaska wafers inspired by Indian street chaat and banana wafers inspired by traditional banana chips made in Indian homes. But Balaji didn't stop at wafers. They noticed that Indian namkeen market was not only huge but only growing rapidly. At the time, one major competitor focused only on chips while another Haldiram focused mainly on namkeen brands. That when Chandubai made a bold decisions, Balaji would become India's first major brand to offer both chips and namkeen under one roof. Their namkeen strategy covered multiple regions and tastes from Gujarat Khakara to Ratalali Safe, Punjabi Tadka, Classing Safe. To attract the younger generations, Balaji also introduced Western style snacks like poppers, nacho, even products similar to kurkure. They gave them catch name tailored for youth like Wheels, Amage, and Yum Stick. And to compete directly with Maggi and Yippee, they launched their own Yippee masala noodles. Basically, no matter the age of taste, Balaji Wafers had something for everyone. Before launching any new product, they would invite a small focus group of target customers to their R&D lab. Their customer would test the new product and fill out a detailed feedback form. Based on this feedback, the company would refine the perfect each product before releasing in the market. But Balaji also knew that a good product alone doesn't guarantee sales. You need to communicate with strength effectively to the customers. And there where their genius market strategy came into play. Their biggest competitor was Lay's had one of the major weakness, very little quantity in each pack. It had even become a running joke in a meme and casual conversations. Most of the people who are casually talking about that Lay's had a more air than chips. Balaji smartly turned this weakness into their advantage. They launched their campaign with the tagline
Wafers zyada and flavors wah wah.
this message they clearly mocked Lay's low quality, highlighted their own generous portion size and also showcased their wide variety of flavors. Their advertisements were light-hearted and fun and highly engaging, which helped this message to spread rapidly across the country. Balaji also found a smart way to promote their new product among weak existing customers. On the back end, every product packet they added a simple call to action, showing an image of a new snack and inviting customer to try it next time. Today, their factory features fully automated process from tossing, slicing, frying, and packaging. Everything runs seamlessly through modern technology. Everyone knows that the most important raw material for making vapor is potatoes. But the potato price fluctuate with the seasons, which make it difficult to control their production cost. On the top side, irregular monsoon can damage crops, leading to supply shortage or even a complete halt in productions. On the top side, Trickle this Balaji Vapors built a massive cold store with a capacity of 25,000 tons, allowing them to buy potato at the lower cost and store that the years to round it. Their strategy was fully passionate. Their HR strategy is also one of kind. At Balaji, no department is given a strict target because Chandubai believe that when employees feel a sense of ownership, they naturally give their best. Every employee, whatever that who are worker or even managers, they have their personal mobile number. So they know that no matter what's happened, the founder stand with them. Even during hiring, Balaji focused less on resume and more on passion and attitude. But the success of Balaji Vapors is not just only dependent on product marketing or HR policy, it deeply rooted in their value and principles. In 2023, when a global company offered to acquire Balaji Vapors for 4,000 crores, they rejected the offer and chosen to remain broadly independent, a truly Indian brand. And when Haldiram factory in Noida caught by fire, Balaji Vapor, instead of celebrating the competitor of loss, he opened their own factory to produce Haldiram product for the months, ensuring their competitor supply was not disturbed. That the spirit of truly entrepreneurship and integrity. Unlike other, Balaji never rushed to expand across India all at once. He grew state by state because he knew that quality comes before speed and their vision was long term. Today, Balaji paper products are available in lakhs of shopkeepers across the India, and their made in India snacks are exported to over 25 countries worldwide. From a small bicycle selling homemade chips to build a 5,000 crore snack empire. This was the extraordinary journey of Balaji Vapors, the story of man who proved that with the hard work, honesty, and perseverance, you can turn even the simplest idea into a global brand. This was an inspiring story of Balaji Vapors, a brand that truly represents the taste and spirit of India. If you liked this video, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and stay tuned for more incredible story of Indian entrepreneurship. Thank you.